everybody. Welcome to Yikes. I'm Mike Suarez. That is Catherine Henson. I sound echoey as shit.
And I'm Misha Han.
I know. Didn't you do a mic check or some shit?
Yeah, for you guys. And now I'm recording and it sounds fucking weird.
How was your night last night?
What do you mean, how was my night last night?
You're just coming in super combative.
How was your night last night?
It was long as shit. I woke up at 6 in the morning to go to a work event that I had to help volunteer at, and I was there till 3 p.m. and then I went and did shows.
Ew.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking terrible.
Boring.
What do you want from me?
I don't know. Pick better things for your life.
Yeah.
I know. You know what we just realized, and now my voice sounds echoey to me, but what we just realized, we just saw what this podcast would be without Mike for like 30 seconds. It would be you being boring and then me going, why do I speak to you? And then it would be 30 seconds, and then that would be it. Each episode would be 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm your meat. Oh, shit.
I like the way that sounded, though.
I'm your meat.
No, well, before you came,
Now your voice sounds stupid.
My voice always sounds stupid.
Oh,
That's normal,
true.
actually. Before before you joined, we would actually prep and work on send ideas, and then you showed up, and we were just like, oh, we'll just let the woman do the work, and we will just coast on your coattails.
You know, what's funny about that is I don't do anything to prepare. I mean, I guess the last,
Your entire life was preparation for this podcast, and I'm the only one that's smart enough to try to monetize it.
But you know what? If you fail, not only are you going to fail and make no money. There we go. That's good. Not only will you fail and make no money, but then I'm going to want to kill myself, which might be your ultimate goal.
What is the downside of that?
That might be your ultimate
I'm either successful or you die.
Yeah, I don't know. What if nobody likes it? What if I run out of stories to tell?
You're never going to run out of stories.
Now that I'm sober, I feel very boring.
Oh, you know what the problem was? You guys were both talking into that mic in the middle as well.
Oh, that makes sense.
That I pointed at, and no one can see because it's not on camera. There's another mic there. It isn't me.
Are we cutting all of that out?
Probably not.
Guys, let's start. False start. I'm Mike Suarez.
This is
on
Misha
YouTube.
Han.
This is where you want a timestamp to. Like you said, I am the meat. I think that was totally worth it.
Did we just start over?
Not really. It's kind of a joke, but you can go ahead and make it serious.
It's very typical.
I was just having some fun right there.
Well, I was beginning a therapy session.
I know.
And now I didn't get to finish.
Also known as this week's podcast.
Hilarious. There's a book I need to read. I need to find out the name of it. Go on.
Okay. This is the podcast. Mike just scrambles along with words so you guys figure out what you're going to say.
He is the meat.
I'm the meat.
Bum, 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 bum.
I like that. Isn't this man riding a shrimp?
I've been saving a bunch of money, not drinking, but I've been spending it on
Cocaine. I like how you're like, I'm so sober, I'm Catherine, and I'm getting my life together. And
excuse me,
okay.
I was going to say pills. All right. No, I mean, well, yes, but no. No, these very expensive bags. Now, I don't speak German, so I'm going to say this incorrectly, but it's like Freitag.
I can't see it without.
What it's Freitag.
okay.
And they're repurposed car Taupins. Is that it? Tarpins? Tarpins.
What part of the car
I
is
also
it?
don't know how to drive a car, so I don't know anything about them.
What
I know
does it
they have
look like?
wheels.
I don't know what
It's like, well, they make bags out of them, so they're like shiny, canvasy.
Oh, like the like on a convertible.
I guess,
Out of
yeah.
the top.
I don't know because they have different designs on them and whatever. They're all unique. Thank you. Yeah, nobody knows what it is. Anyway, these bags are like very expensive.
I've never had a cool car with a tarpon. I've always had like a Toyota Corolla or a.
I've never owned a car. I'll never drive a car. I've driven a car a couple times. I don't have a license. I shouldn't have been driving.
I told them I was 17 until they had a license and they believe me, but I just never.
I don't think you're pronouncing this correctly.
It's Taupin. Taupin or Taupin.
You're just guessing words now.
Well, it's one. I can't remember if there's
That's
an R
where
in
we're
it or
at
not.
right now in this world because like you're so used to your phone finishing it to you, like Bill Burr says, and
Yeah.
a bunch of other comics around the city for some reason.
The first response is, who is Bernie Taupin? Elton John and Bernie Taupin's relationship, true story.
The man's a genius.
I'm like,
Yeah, Bernie's the one to fuck.
yeah,
I am not gonna lie. I am ultra turned on by the dude who played Elton John in Rocket Man.
Oh, I'm glad your bag story went nowhere.
Do you
Do you have one with you? That would have been way easier.
No. Well, but here's the thing. So even on eBay,
there's a picture of Bernie Taupin.
can I see him?
That's a
I
bag.
think. Tiny Dancer? I don't know.
Oh, on the bed. Ew,
I
that
don't know
looks
who that
like my
is.
mom's neighbor Barbara.
Yep.
Anyway,
Well, that's what's bagging Elton John. So,
no, Bernie wasn't gay.
I thought No, I thought they were together.
No, Bernie's his, like they write together. Bernie wrote
that's
a lot
right.
of the songs.
Right.
Elton put the music to it. Blah blah blah. Anyway, that dude is fucking fine. I can't remember his name right now, but I'm
Right.
down to fuck.
So you're down to fuck the actor. Oh, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Now your bag.
Is this a car tarp? Is that what you mean? It's made out of tarp? Sorry, that was derailed that story.
The point is even on eBay they're like $300. Mm-hmm. And I
eBay,
bid
where
on
she gets things appraised.
and I
That's what people do now. You don't need an Antique Roadshow. You just go. People just go to eBay and decide off of there. And that's really how you should do it. That's the marketplace value.
Okay.
here,
That's how
I'll
video
just-
games work right now. A lot of people want to say otherwise, and it's like, nope.
I mean, I have a million of them open, so it's like, let me see. Okay, I'll pick this one, the Fringe Bag. Here we go. Fuck.
Nope, that's the story police. Come on.
Truck. Okay, I found it.
Jesus.
TARPAULINS.
Just show the camera.
Truck tarpaulins.
Tarpaulins.
Oh, so it's the
I'm
thing
showing
that
them
you
the
push
word?
over,
You
put
show,
over
no,
a
show a
card.
picture of the thing.
Well, here's like some of the bags.
It is a heavy-duty waterproof cloth, originally of tarred canvas.
Yeah, so they tarred canvas. There we go.
Not tarred canvas.
Whatever.
Hard canvas.
Whatever the fuck. Anyway,
Tarred canvas is what you put down when you have a party for special needs kids.
It looks like the IKEA bags that you like, the blue, the type of blue.
Yeah, you're just buying IKEA.
You're buying
bags.
IKEA bags
You're
that
buying
are worth
furniture.
$300 on eBay.
first of all, no, they're like fucking incredible. I want a big one
yeah,
for
it's
Edinburgh.
made by IKEA stuff. Of course, it's going to be incredible.
If you had any sense of style, you would enjoy this bag. So I bid on a bunch of them on eBay and won them.
How many?
So now I'm like hood rich in bags I don't need. I didn't get the one I actually need. I got a bunch of
You
like the
didn't
tote
need any
bags.
of these.
No,
Yes,
of
I
course.
know what you mean.
No, I do
the one-
need a bag.
The one you actually wanted, you didn't get. But you won all the other ones you had like as backup, thinking, well, I'm not going to win all of these.
Yeah, I mean, and they weren't even really backup because they're like totes. Like they can't even do what the one I need
Exactly.
can do.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's an eBay rabbit hole you fall into.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, okay.
Oh, God.
You
Yeah.
can do that with video games. Do that with action
Oh,
figures.
video game? No. Yeah, one night, high on Ambien, I bid on some Stuart Weitzman like strappy sandals, gladiator sandals, ankle ones though. And because I was high on Ambien, I saw the ones that also go up to your knee. And like, I have very thin calves. It's hard to find shoes that like go over your whole leg that like are tight. Whatever.
too.
I mean, I know you know how it is.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Skinny like Soares is what I like to call them.
total around $600 later, I had won everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, like, yeah. So fucking Ambien, it'll make you bid on things on eBay. Incidentally, doesn't make you racist. I mean, so Roseanne had it wrong.
No, this makes you impulsive. That's what it does.
Yeah. God, I
thing-
love getting fucked up on Ambien.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I just like that racial slurs are Roseanne's strappy sandals.
It's me for a while.
So
I just want to bid on. I can't finish that.
That was a great one. I got called a Fiesta N-word the other day. That was fun.
a fee.
I said I was
At
sorry about
Skankfest?
that too.
No, not
Oh,
a Skankfest.
really? I would have assumed it would have been at Skankfest.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. I guess I was at Skankfest this weekend. It's still going on. I'm going to go back after this. People are talking about Louie C.K. performing there.
Oh,
And-
did he?
Yeah, he showed up. It was a good set. A lot of people are on the internet are mad that he exists for some reason. Like,
Shock me.
yeah, they're just like Paul Tompkins came out and trying to make a joke about this guy, and Everyone's mad at Paul Tompkins now.
Wait, who?
Paul F. Tompkins, exactly. I know who Paul Tompkins, and he's actually one of the reasons I started doing stand-up. So it's sad to me that he's become this bitter old man seeking justice. It's like he's the Ronald,
Seeking justice.
the Ronald Goldman of comedy is what I call him. So,
That is such an old reference.
Ron Goldman was the guy who took down O.J. Simpson, basically, because he murdered his son.
I've heard of O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. But he had that dumbass mustache also, which is also why I call Paul F. Tompkins that. If we had visual cues, guys, go to your Google box and look up Ron Goldman.
The Google box. That made you sound older than knowing who Ron Goldman
I know
was.
how dumb our fans are. And go
Read a book. It's called Google.
They're as dumb as me. Go to your box, look up Paul F. Tompkins, look up Ron Goldman. You'll see two silly mustaches.
My box is sweating right now.
It has a funny mustache. And you'll
Box
see
sweat.
a goofy mustache pair of guys.
I'm imagining the lift mustache over your vagina right now.
Okay, well,
I
it is
should just
pink.
do that. I mean, I'm not fucking anyone. Why not have some fun with myself?
I don't know, but I was trying to finish the story.
Well,
Look
you
who
take
turned
it
into
way too
Catherine.
long to get to
Look
the
who turned
fucking
into
point.
Catherine. Just like, I was trying to finish a story.
I made a mustache joke, and then you just talked about your pussy, which I also made funny. So,
My pussy's always funny, goddamn you.
yeah, because it's lopsided. Anyway,
How the fuck would you know?
internet.
My
has
box
it.
is not on the internet.
Rumor has
I
it.
have a perfect vagina, all right? If there's one thing I have in this world, it is a golden fucking pussy,
It's
okay?
a golden pussy.
Yeah, like a goose.
The
man.
Midas touch.
Yeah, 4 motherfuckers moved across this country for this pussy, all right? So
Yeah, and the last one moved in 09, so what are you talking about?
I know, it's been a minute. Actually, no, that's a lie.
Jesus Christ, Catherine.
Well, I
yes.
had to get the timeline. But it has been about 5 years, so.
Yeah. So Louis C.K. performed at Yikes Fest. People are mad. Paul F. Tompkins is one of them. Paul F. Tompkins is one of the first comics, and Louis C.K. To do the first comics that made me really want to start doing stand-up.
Yeah.
So it is weird that they... I don't think Louis gives a shit about Paul. I know.
Or you.
Well, I met him.
Or
so it's
anyone,
okay.
really.
Paul doesn't give a shit about me. Never met Paul F. Tompkins.
Okay.
So, anyway. No point to what you were saying.
Oh, I just thought it was funny.
I
It's
think
like,
But we
just
were
hurt
all in the
his
green
feelings.
room. It was fun. It was like he just kind of showed up. He was with List. He's talking to Nate, Dan. We're all in a me and Mike Feeney were there, but I wouldn't say we're in the conversation. We're just in the circle.
that makes sense.
And then as people knew he was there, like a lot of other comics, some names I gave to you off mic,
Yeah.
they were just being like, "Oh, I want to be part of this too." They're trying to like elbow their way into shit. Like this now, it's weird.
Yeah.
Like we were just all happened to be here having a conversation with somebody, and now everyone's like, "I gotta be part of this conversation."
It becomes a spectacle.
Here's the thing: the conversation wasn't even like, like funny. It was just like it's just people talking. They're talking about work. Honestly, like theater numbers. How did your Netflix thing do?
Were they really talking numbers like that?
Yeah, just like general shit. It wasn't, or like Jay was talking about something. I remember this time when, but it wasn't like they're like, oh, we had to listen to this hang. It was just like they're just
I
talking
don't know.
about
To me,
work.
that seems like even more like as a comedy nerd, I would love that.
Yeah, I mean,
That sounds like I want to kill myself.
as a comedian, it was interesting to
Because
hear.
it wouldn't be about you.
I'm just like boring. Like, God, I can't hang out with anybody now that I'm sober. It's really difficult. Like, that sounds like my
It's all
nightmare.
about Catherine.
Catherine.
Should I just leave? I could
No,
leave.
But you made it about you. That's what the Catherine
I mean,
does.
what do you want? I could just sit here and let you tell your boring story about Louis C.K. and his fucking Netflix numbers, or I could chime in and say something from time to time.
Well, you just change the subject to you, and that's what we.
I
make
mean,
fun
that's
of.
how isn't that how we relate to things?
No,
Yes,
we're
but that's
just,
the fun thing that we do, and then we go to you.
I know, we've already done it 3 times.
It's fun. I'm
She's
not-
just like threatening to leave, like a mom and dad's like, well, if you don't
I'm just
clean
trying to
up,
be my father.
Oh man, you.
because you're trying to disappear from the podcast.
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
It's okay. Pill use mean. Pill Catherine's a real.
Well, I'm not on any pills right now.
Ah.
I'm just, I don't know. I can't tell if
got-
I'm in a bad mood.
you
Just
got-
tell the story.
you got coke
I'm sorry
rage
I
up in
yelled
here.
at you. I'm hungry, okay? I'm about to start my period, all right? All the woman things. My little woman brain is stressed out.
Hungry for coke and cock. That's two things.
Maybe, there's no love in my life. Go on.
Because here's the thing. We're going to start with this. We're going to end with you. Most of this podcast is going to be about you.
I want to cry.
Don't worry. We all do when we're hanging out. But...
I'm sorry I yelled at you.
I can't wait for this clip. This is
I
amazing.
So
This is so funny.
You shut the fuck up.
I've been yelled at by women before.
Do you kind of miss it?
Yeah, actually.
Look, see, I gave him something I needed. He got something, and you were here for it.
I just want to get hard again. Anyway.
Me too.
Here we go.
God, if you just dropped dead right there, that would really be a finale, huh?
Yeah.
The problem would be nobody would know how to put it up online.
I know.
And then we would
His
never
dead body
get...
would be there. I'd be like, Misha, come on, you're Asian. Make the computer go.
Live stream this quickly.
Yeah. What if I die?
We make us laugh, so that's important, I guess.
Nobody listens to this.
They will. Once I
Once
die.
Mike dies.
Just hashtag it like Louis C.K. and like, erect penis.
That should be the name of the podcast, When Mike Dies.
When Mike dies.
I think they were
And
laughing
it's just seven
about
people going like, yeah, we liked him and didn't really get to know him, so let's listen to the last thing he did.
He started a bunch of stories. Never had to hear the rest of them.
And now he'll never finish another story ever again. R.I.P. Mike.
Stories, not sandwiches. Here we go.
Hey!
Bing, bang, bang. Here's what I mean. Like, you don't like talking to comics?
That's
Like,
not what I'm saying.
No. That's not what I mean. I mean, you don't like talking to comics that are above you in the business?
I'm not saying that either, and I actually don't know if I frequently get to interact with people above me because they don't know who I am or care.
Right.
But I mean, like, yeah, I guess there is. I've done it a couple times recently, and there is some. I don't know if it's my own anxiety or just like whatever they're talking about. I'm like, I don't have Netflix numbers. Like, I have no way of interacting with you. You know what I mean? And sometimes there's an attitude. I'm not saying with everybody, but there is like an attitude of like, from the
one above you.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, if you'd like to relate, we can relate not talking about whatever I mean, you could talk about jokes, you could just talk to each other about whatever, and you can find out. Like, I've related to people who are above me by not exactly talking about, I'm on this tour, or that, you know what I mean? Like, I ended up
about music, you talk about...
Yeah, like I ended
people,
up
basically.
Yeah, I ended up talking to one about a yeast infection I had, and this story takes like 5 minutes, and I told him, and we ended up hanging out all night, and he was like, that was a moment I knew with you that like you and I were like, sort of the same type of people, and I fuck with you now. You
Exactly.
know? Like, I don't know how to talk to you. Like, I can listen to you talk about all this cool stuff you're doing and go, that's great, but like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you're not going to have an anecdote about...
No, and like...
That's what I mean. Like, these people weren't talking about, here's all the cool stuff we're doing. These are two guys talking about,
nuts and bolts.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff that you don't really like to hear about, that side of it. And it's like, this side of theater, 2,500 seater is better than a 3,700 seater. It's just
Based on
like
acoustics or... Yeah.
Yeah,
See, that's
like,
why I would love it, because I'm like such a comedy nerd that I would just be obsessed with every detail.
I guess I'm not a comedy nerd. I mean,
It's not even about being a comedy nerd. It's just like the logistics of what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, I mean,
this size of a theater to this side of the theater, like that's where it's different. That's where there's a disconnect with the people and you're not really performing. Like that's one of the things that was said. I was like, okay, that's interesting.
I mean, I was listening to a couple comics who like are technically like ahead of me have a conversation about why something didn't hit in the set. Like one of them had just
Oh yeah, that's
done.
what we all do.
Yeah, I know, but like I was listening to them and I was thinking, well, then of course about me because that's what I do. But I mean, what they were talking about and saying, I was like thinking, wow, like there's still so much I don't know. So like to some degree, one might feel anxious, being like, oh my God, I've like, been out here every night doing multiple sets, and there's still so much I don't know. Like
And
I'm
stuff
listening
that you
to
didn't notice, and stuff that you didn't
and then
even
I
think
sort of
about
feel
ever.
sick because I'm like, oh, I'm a Capricorn. I'm like, I'm never doing enough, and I'm like a failure, and I can't even be good enough for me. Like shit like that is like, you know. And then I'm thinking about applying what they're saying to like my jokes, because my jokes are all very like hard and heavy-handed, and it's like, how do I soften my entire act up so people like it, you know? So stuff like that. So it's like, it's uncomfortable, but it's probably a good discomfort. You know what I mean? Because in theory, that should help me grow, but it doesn't mean it feels good at the time. I felt like I wanted to vomit. Because I was like, I have no contribute. I mean, I guess I could try, but like...
You can also just not... You can just be a fly on the wall. You don't have to...
No, that's what I mean. I didn't say
conversation.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm also kind of
saved us
like...
for
Why do you need the pressure to participate in every conversation?
Well, I mean, I didn't.
That's exactly my point in this thing. It's like all these people... Okay,
Oh, so they were trying to join in.
well, here's what's happening.
that would be
people
annoying.
love doing that with celebrities.
It was
so gross.
Louie Bargatze, who I don't really know at all, Big J, and Mike Feeney, myself, and then Michael Che was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Louie just went over to talk to Michael Che. I was over there talking to Feeney.
Yeah.
And the situation happened around us.
Okay.
So we're all of a sudden, me and Feeney are in this circle, and there's this conversation happening over there, and it was kind of cool. And then Che leaves, and this fucking comic who I don't really know, but was fucking annoying, was like,
I want to know who it is.
we'll tell you
tell you
off
after.
mic.
Will you wait, whisper?
No.
Just give the initials. Exactly. I didn't know who it was.
I
till
can
before.
bring it up on my phone.
It's okay, don't worry about it. We'll
I
talk
don't
about
know
it.
who that
We're
is.
trying to derail the story. It doesn't matter. He's annoying. Even on stage, he was annoying. It's all impressions and horse shit. So
Oh, well, that just gave it away.
he's in a
Well, no, because there's only so many
he'll
people.
be on
who do
SNL. We'll be
impressions.
working for him one day. It doesn't matter. Anyway, but he's like right there on my fucking shoulder, and I get it. It's kind of a neat moment. But
I don't know this person at all.
But we are at a festival. We're all coworkers right here. Don't fucking make it weird for this guy. You know what I mean? It's like, and I guess
Well, they're bad coworkers. It's like a job.
Well, there's people who don't have social couth.
Exactly. This was a person who was like, he's gonna cut the birthday cake before we sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I mean, look, as somebody who always talks about me and interrupts to talk about me and whatever, like, you know what I mean? When I was listening to those people talk, I was like, I don't have anything to say. I'm not going to come up with something to say. I'm not going to try to insert myself just because there's like a better celebrity you know what I mean? Like, unless I have something I can actively say I want to say.
Add to the conversation.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll just stand there.
You're not going to speak up just to be a part of it.
But
You're
some
just
people like to just
hear themselves talk.
weasel their way into everything and be like, "Oh, I had this moment," and then, you know, they invent how that went, which like that sounds like
exactly
from an outsider perspective.
This guy went and told, I went out on Louis C.K. today. Like that's what he fucking told people. I'm pretty sure. And then like 10 other people behind him, as a circle, and there's some weird dude who wasn't a comic or an artist who was just back there, who like Fred Flintstone eating a muffin real loud. It's just like a fucking apple the way he's eating this fucking muffin. It was so crazy.
Sounds yummy.
Yeah, open mouth.
You were just mad that someone was eating. You're like, nom nom
And
nom.
you didn't get
I
to
don't
eat
like
too.
I don't like open mouth eating. It really bugs me.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
I've always wonder why we're friends because
Except I like
such
when
an
people
asshole.
smack their gum. It's very like 90s Southern California to me when they're like, I like it. I don't know why. I like the vibe, gum smacking, but I don't like open
because she
mouth
did it
eating.
as a hot 15-year-old that looked 17.
First of all, I've never liked gum, except when I ate it as a child.
Yeah, she has to replace one of those letters.
God, it took me too long to get that joke.
Anyway. So yeah, social situations. Like that's what people like when you're around coworkers or people who are bigger than you in any industry, there's sometimes you just gotta fucking listen. If you have something to say, then say it, but don't just be like trying to find your moment when it's already too crowded. It's like, you know what? You're just making it weird now for everybody.
Yeah.
You're making me fucking hate you because you're literally leaning on my fucking shoulder. You're making it weird for them because they can see you fucking giving them weird eyes. So just shit like that.
I mean, there's so many people. Did you want to say something?
Yeah. I was going to transition to another story, so if you have something to add to
Well,
that.
I was going to say there's so many people. I mean, there's so many people in the world, and there's so many people who do comedy. I mean, and there's different, you know, areas of what you're talking about. Like, even, you know, we all want spots, right?
Yeah.
And there's like ways to ask people, and then there's ways to not do it. And like, you know, there's people who you can feel how disingenuine they are. You know, when they're like, hey, great running into you, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you don't fucking know me.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't great running into me. You, like, nodded at me, and then you want something out of me. And, like, how fake they are. They're, like, performing always and never really connecting with anyone as people. And I guess that's, to bring it back to me, my point in, like, now that I'm not drinking, I am having a harder time. Because, like, you know, when you're drunk.
All of it?
Ignoring it, or even being as tolerant, because it's like when I was drunk or hungover, I was in a good mood, because I'm generally not an angry drunk. I mean, sometimes I had moments, but, like, you know, it'd be like, okay, I can have a great conversation with some fucking asshole I hate.
I hate the direct eye contact you're making with me right now.
I mean, that's how the basis of our friendship. But, like, you know, as a sober person, it's a lot harder to tolerate some people where you're like, I don't want to sit here and do this. I can tell you're full of shit. I've always known you're full of shit, but I could put up with it, and now I'm having a hard time even doing that, which, like, is not good for me personally, you know, because then I'm less nice, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like fakery, but it is kind of like, it's social couth. It's like, how are you just nice to people and deal with it? Alcohol was a good way. I did that.
So, yeah, and here's the dichotomy. Like, there was that situation, then everyone kind of dispersed because he wanted to go watch somebody perform. I went somewhere else. Then he went. We heard he's going to perform. He said he wasn't going to perform. Then he said Louie.
Oh.
So then he was performing. Everyone heard he's performing. So we went upstairs. So I was lucky. I got to go up the back way because the room was already full. So I go up to the backstage area. He's on stage, and it's like a bunch of comics that were you know, List, Soder, Ari again, just people who actually know him, and no one's acting weird. Bennington's back there. And no one's, like, worried about their phone. Everyone's just listening, like, watching his set. After he gets off, nobody's, like, being weird about it. You know, Jay has to follow him, so we made some joke. And then everyone goes, hey, Jake takes his set. Hey, I really enjoyed your set. That's how you act with somebody. You don't have to go,
like fucking normal.
No one's like, dude, you fucking... Like, no one did that shit, even if it's true.
I mean, people do that to, like, Aaron Berg. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because he runs a show at Frantic. So.
Yeah, but I mean, but it's like I've watched it happen, and you're like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has like dips and
exactly.
You know,
and I'm not making fun of you
when
I see this, but when people do that, they're trying to make the situation about themselves. And this isn't a joke about you.
No, but they are.
They're trying to have a story
become friends. They're trying to ingratiate themselves.
But more than that, they're trying to have a story that they can tell to the world.
Yeah.
That here was my. It's like the exact same thing. They want to have that moment for when he dies, he can go on Instagram and go, I remember when blah, 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 and they told me, keep on trucking.
And it's something I never forgot ever since that day, because it's my only time I've been around somebody famous, and it's the only thing that I have to cling to.
Yeah, and to be fair to me, and bring it back to me, I don't make posts like that ever about anything. And when I make it about me, I'm pretty goddamn shameless about it. But I have like, I find
there's no false modesty with it. It's like, this is.
And I find the linchpin of like, oh, this is how I can weasel my way into this, like about me, but like not like, you know, I'm uncomfortable in those scenarios. Like I remember like Aaron Berg was standing in front of the pair one time, and everybody like swarmed around him. Yeah. I walk away from that. I don't know why. I don't feel comfortable feeling like a clinger on.
Yeah.
It's like the same reason, I was like talking with someone about this. It's the same reason I don't hang out at Fat Black ever. Because I'm not at the Cellar. I don't want to be seen as somebody who's trying to hang around Cellar comics to sort of feel cool or better than I am or whatever. It's like if I'm ever at the Cellar, that's when I'll fucking be there.
Exactly.
And that's how I feel.
And that's the situation. Like afterwards, like again, like Joe, his wife, like his wife Sarah, Dan, Ari, a bunch of them went to go eat, and it wasn't like a closed invite, but he directly asked Dan, Louie, and his wife, and then like Jason Cantor kind of followed around. He knows him.
Oh, I know Jason.
Yeah, it's like people were going, but it's like I didn't go, even though I know Dan, and I knew everyone but Louie in that group.
Yeah,
and I was in that conversation, but I wasn't. I just like I should probably just not go, because I kind of just felt the vibe. It's like, I don't know everyone here.
You read the room.
These people know each other more than they know me. Like, so I'm just gonna stay.
It also feels weird to just be there and just be on like the outskirts and just
that's exactly
watching people have a conversation.
And that's exactly what I mean. Like this whole time, I'd been not part of the conversation. You know, I shook Louie's hand, but that was about it because he was shaking everyone's hand because people started making weird. Mm-hmm. But it was like, I wanted to hang out with Joe and Dan.
Yeah.
Because those guys were the ones that like I know. And Louie being there was like cool. But I really enjoy hanging out with Joe and Dan.
You know, it's
So
kind of
I
like
just gave that up. And then Ari was going to be there. It's like, oh, it's going to be cool. But then I was like, let's just not make it weird for them.
Yeah.
Where it's just like some guys
and also
sitting
where
there
they have to
silently.
feel like they have to babysit you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like...
It's why you don't hang out with people
also,
after
at that
shows.
point, the group is too fucking big. And now it's like we can't eat at a regular table. Now it's going to take long. All this shit. Like, I could just see the group growing.
Yeah.
Once someone who... You know what I mean? It's like, well, if he's going, that means I can go. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
I try to, like, you know, I think a lot of people don't fucking do that. A lot of people in this industry look at the reason, like, let me look for a reason to go instead of, I don't know if I did that right or wrong. I don't know if I read it wrong, but that's what I felt at the time, is to just not go.
Live your
I think
truth.
if you felt uncomfortable about going, then it's a good thing you didn't go. Like
Right.
if you felt comfortable.
I felt more uncomfortable than I should have, but I still should not have went.
I mean, and but there's instances where you feel uncomfortable and you should go, and it's like a good thing, and it's out of your comfort zone, and blah blah blah. But I mean, you do you know what I mean? Like I've had those nights where I'm like, oh, I didn't want to do this, and then I did, and I'm like, oh, it's good, I did that. Then I've had times where I'm like, I read that wrong, I shouldn't, I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And like, in that instance, I probably also wouldn't have gone because I'm like, yeah, you watch. Once there's enough people who are like, I'm gonna like hocus pocus, like Bette Midler, like I'm gonna suck everything out of this situation, then I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, I also, one, didn't want to create this fucking parade going down the street.
Yeah.
And then...
Because they would have to wait for the float to show up.
They'd have to wait while everybody's throwing like rotten tomatoes at Louie.
No, nobody.
It's a joke.
No, I know it. Nobody gave a shit. That's the other thing. No one cared in that capacity. Like, no one on the street, nobody at the festival. Like, nobody was like, he's here, except for two comics who I'm not going to fucking mention. But
I have to poop.
well, I can keep this going for 10 minutes.
Oh boy.
She doesn't want to be part of this while we say that Louie. No one was mad about Louie. So
Oh yeah, because Catherine's the most politically
I'm
correct
just
person
joking.
I know.
That was a joke. That's her out. It's just my social anxiety with that. Because like I work on YKWd, and it's being thrust into, like, when I came to New York, I was here for a month, and then I started working on the show. Yeah. And that's when we just introduced to a lot of people who are way above you in the industry. I mean, Bobby already. I mean, I'm lucky to know him from San Antonio.
Okay.
That's where I met most of the people that I work with. I worked with Joe, Bobby, other people that I've met down there, but now I know them here, like Gary Goldman, Gina Beyond. A lot of people help me down there. Try to help me up here when they can, but like Bobby's the one who brought me onto his show. Through there, I've met a lot of people, and it's really weird because, like, oh, they're famous, and I don't know who the fuck, what am I exactly? So it is interesting. Like, when, like, Colin, I'm not trying to brag, but like Colin Quinn is good friends with Bobby, so I met Colin through Bobby. Okay. And I was always real sheepish and weird around him. And then one time, like, we were just sitting there, and he kind of went up to me and was like, "You can't put off this weird energy like that. It's off-putting." So since then, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's okay to be around him.
It's okay to be around famous people,
Right?
But you gotta treat them like a person."
They're not annoyed that I'm there. No, is what I'm saying. It's like I just felt the whole time, like whenever Colin was there, it's like everyone wishes I wasn't here so they can be themselves. And he came up to me. And he basically put that.
Well, it's because nobody cares that you're there.
Exactly. It's not, that's what I mean.
You're like putting off. That's a weird energy to have in that situation.
Exactly.
It's like
is that nobody cares? It's
they
not
are
even, it's
so
not,
famous that it doesn't matter that you're here. They're not worried. As long as they understand that you're not gonna like snitch on them, they could give a shit. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna be myself because I don't get the chance to be myself. So as long as there's no cameras out, no recordings, there's no videotaping, they get to be the truest self. And yeah, so no offense, Mike, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, well, that's what my point was.
I just watched A Star Is Born, and
hold on, let me finish this one thing. So he called me by my first name, which I realized after that. It was like,
who?
Colin Quinn. So I was like, oh yeah, he wouldn't call me by my name if he was annoyed that I was here.
Are you sure he didn't just take a guess because your name is so basic? He was like, it could be John, Mike, Brian.
I like the attempt. I like the swing. No, she was trying to be funny, and I like the swing.
Trying to be funny. I was asking a real question.
No, he because of Bobby, we've been introduced, and you know who I am.
Trying to be funny. You would know a lot about trying to be funny, wouldn't you?
We all know
See,
about trying.
if she took another swing, and then she connected, and then now she's like, I was meant to be funny.
Right. So, so my whole point is,
Yeah.
I'm in this weird place where, a lot of people know who I am, that are because of Bobby, because of the show. Who's smacking the microphone right now?
It's not me. I am raising my hand. I have a question.
Hold on. I'll just point
It's
to you.
him.
Okay.
It's the same thing he does on stage. He does weird things with his mouth. He needs to stop.
It sounded like somebody was trying to take their. Trying to not make a fingering joke. Anyway, that's not the same noise. Now it just sounds like people are masturbating quickly.
And Catherine's lopsided vagina.
It's a race.
God damn it, my vagina's
She's got
perfect.
one finger longer than the other. It's just.
I did hurt a finger once after a bomb.
It's like you're trying to, you were fingering yourself. You're trying to get your ring out of your pussy.
Want to try it again?
So, wait. It's like that.
We're
game.
just doing this to annoy Mike right now.
No, that's not the noise that bugs me. It was more that's I didn't see anyone's mouth moving, and I was like, who's making that fucking noise right in the
him.
microphone? But you were like,
I apparently make all these
Sounds like a
noises. I
gremlin.
literally cannot.
oh, hey, microphone, how you doing? That's what you were doing. You're
I've
big
never
out
been
the
more
mic.
turned on.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
That really said something about the guys you've been with.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I'm your camera at home. How's it going? That's your pickup line.
I found out someone that I used to fuck might be in love, and it upsets me.
Aw.
That's it. That's that story.
It's okay.
You need to hurry up, or I'm gonna have to poop again.
Jesus, how much do you have in you?
Today's.
Just, you could have just gone all at once. There's not a...
That's not the way it all works.
For most people, if it's in there. You might have to poop twice in one day, but you know what? I'm not going to mansplain pooping to you. Not going to mansplain pooping to you. So...
It's all about Catherine.
So I'm in this weird place where people know my name, or they know who I am, but I don't get invited anywhere. That's like a weird place to, you know what I mean? Where it's we're not really friends, but they're aware of me and they say hey to me when we're around.
You guys are work friends. You guys
Yes,
know
exactly.
each other through a work thing, and they just haven't been feel close enough to be hey, we should invite him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a weird thing, but you have to realize that because otherwise you're just going to make it weird all the time.
Okay.
You can't be, if you have an office job and it's hey, we're all going to go for drinks after, but you're not in that group and you just kind of invite yourself. It's well, now it's weird and now we're at work again. So,
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I have no friends.
Oh, I don't have any friends either. So,
Oh my God. Does that mean we're not friends anymore?
Were we ever friends to begin with?
You would call me to hang out for lunch.
You also called me to hang out for lunch,
Yeah.
and neither of us work
so
in
like
those
a
places
friendship.
anymore. I don't know. Is that a friendship? What is friendship? That's a big question.
You would call. Oh, whatever.
what is
Having lunch. Do you think having lunch is that's friendship?
it? Not on
Yeah,
its
if we
own.
had to we had to set up a lunch.
You don't.
Hangout.
You've never had lunch with someone you're not friends with? Because I have.
Would you help him move or her move?
Yeah, I'd be mad about it because I'm but I would definitely help her move.
But I've also had.
She would also never help anybody move, so I don't know why that is part of
That
the
is true.
equation.
If he was in jail, and he was the only person to enter the phone, would you help him get out?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I am a good friend, but no one should call me.
I'm just saying, if they had to. You got the phone
Yeah.
call. Catherine, I've called 50 people. No one
My
else is
friend
answering.
Colton is the person everyone should call, but
Well, I don't know Colton. So.
I know.
I feel like you're the priest officiating our friendship. You're well, if
No, but okay, but
Do you swear?
to pick
Okay,
him
but
up from
what-
jail for better or for
If
worse.
he poops his pants and you have the key to his apartment, you will bring him new pants.
That actually she would definitely not do. She
Vows.
would let me sit in it.
are you doing the writing our vows? No, I mean, what is friendship? What is friendship? I've been thinking about this a lot recently.
Okay.
Well, let's.
Yeah, that's
what-
why I was asking those questions. That's my ride. I don't even know.
No, what,
I'm out of things to say.
What is friendship to you? Lunch?
No, a friend is somebody that I would do a lot for.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
I've
it's
done
friends and acquaintances. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've done a lot for people that I considered my friends who, like, you know, when push came to shove, like, let's say they, you know, begin dating someone, right? And suddenly you don't talk to those people anymore. Or they don't talk to you. You know what I mean? Because now their time is completely monopolized
in that
by
person
another
that they're
person,
seeing.
which is totally unhealthy anyway, regardless. I mean,
Yeah.
you should continue your friendships when you're in a relationship in order to be a whole person, in my opinion. But like, what I mean, I've, you know, helped people do a lot of things that then I haven't seen or spoken to for 5 years.
Yeah, but when you see them again, is it like old times?
I mean, it can be. It also, things change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had a friend in high school, Sean, we hung him from the rafters of my mom's house. This was really bad. I had
With
gone
ropes?
I had gone to this haunted house with this guy Mark that I liked, and we found a noose there. It was like this abandoned house. It was known for being like super creepy. And we found a noose there, and we like took these photos of us like fake hanging because it was, you know, deteriorated enough where you couldn't actually do it. So I showed him to my friend Sean, who was very troubled at the time. This was like right before I started smoking meth. And he was like, well, let's
Your stories are always so weird.
he was like, let's
Just that aside.
right. He was like, well, let's take real photos. And I was like, okay, well, we don't have any rope. And he was like, do you have an extension cord? And I was like, yeah. So we get this extension cord. And then my mom had these rafters. This reminds me, because I just did this show where I had to like confess the worst thing I've ever done, right? And I was making a list, and then I was like, I can't actually say any of this. Like, all of these one right after the other, it'll be bad. So then I just talked about how I broadcasted my mom naked on the internet accidentally once, which got no laughs. Anyway.
Wait, did that really happen?
Yes.
What happened there?
That's a totally different story.
You know what? You can't just gloss over that.
We can talk.
Let's finish the hanging story, then we can go to the mom naked story.
Yeah.
So he, you know, ties this noose because, like, you know, we all knew how to do that. And
Like a real hangman's noose? The whole loopity-loop and everything?
out of an extension cord, right?
Wow, this guy practiced.
So he, and
There
then
are
we.
a bunch of tiny dead rat nooses in his apartment.
And so
That's how he got a Boy Scout badge, actually, for that.
True.
Mouse hanging.
I mean, this guy tried to kill himself, like doing the exhaust thing in the
And
garage.
a lot of cats.
Yeah.
So
Sean, happy now. He's happy now, which is
That's
good.
good.
He's good at fishing.
that explains why there's so many cats in the world.
Lives in Sacramento, owns a house. Congratulations. He's like one of the
Give it
only
up for
people I
Sean,
know.
guys.
Yeah,
Give it up
seriously,
for
Sean Moore.
The Stalin
He
of
was
stray cats.
he was a very solid friend to me in high school, and so like when we see each other, it's still like that. But we've changed,
and
you
a
know.
friend of the bird population.
That's
Anyway.
how friendship works.
Yeah, but I mean, like
I'm
I
gonna keep
wouldn't.
making he killed cat jokes so somebody acknowledges me.
I don't understand any of them.
I wouldn't call him like when I was
Serial
sad.
killer behavior. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him when I was sad. And I guess that's where my question is like, what is friendship? Like, is it if you're feeling bad and need to pick me up, do you just rely on yourself now that you're an adult? Like maybe write it down or try to find happiness within completely. Like when my mom dies, I'm calling no one. That's how I feel. I'm going to suffer by myself. Like my dog was just sick. I called your
put it
roommate because I
online.
needed a ride.
Yeah.
You
when
put it
did
on Instagram.
I didn't put
That's
that my
how
dog was
or
sick on
something.
Instagram.
I found out.
I told
social
you
media.
in the group chat because I had to be late or some
Oh,
shit.
it's on social media.
No, I didn't
I
tell
assumed
anyone
it
on
was.
social media.
Okay.
I don't put that shit on social media. I gloss over all the filth that is my like exterior on social media and nothing real.
It's very manicured, yeah.
Yeah, it's my manicured trash.
It's just pictures of you in soup.
Yeah,
Just
didn't
Oscar the
you see
Grouch
like
nails.
the 12 photos of me on the toilet that I put on the internet?
Not yet.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun. I couldn't find the best one. Anyway, I really couldn't. It was so good. Anyway,
if
That should have been
Poop
your
3 times.
calendar.
me on the toilet.
You're in the
That'll
toilet.
be the next
Oh
one.
my god.
Fuck yes.
If you got to poop 3 times a day, that's going to be pretty.
Well, I'm gonna need some new ones, and not all those were taken while drunk, so that's good.
Okay.
That means
So
there's
how many
more in the
days-
future.
days
Some of
sober
them
are you?
were you're on coke.
I mean, didn't you see the one with me holding the bong?
I did.
So how many days alcohol sober are you?
36, but who's counting?
You are. That's why I'm asking.
That's the last time I
Did you
enjoyed
see the one of
being
me
around her.
holding the aloe? This was a very subtle pic of me on the toilet. I had the worst sunburn I've ever had in my life all over my legs, and I was on the toilet trying to rub it with aloe, and my roommate came in and was just being horrible with his camera. Anyway, the point is about Sean. We
Tried to hang himself.
Well, we put the extension cord around these rafters, and he was like, all right, I'm going to get on the chair. I'm going to kick it out from under me. You're going to take the real photo of me hanging, and then you're going to come and you're going to pick me up, and it'll be fine. And I was like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. Let's do it. So the only photo I have is of him like leaning. He's like kind of holding the thing, and he's leaning about to kick the chair out from under himself. Because once he did that, immediately when he went down, it was like his eyes popped out of his head. It was horrifying. I screamed. I threw the camera down. He hates this story now. Sorry, Sean. And I ran over to him, and I grabbed him. He couldn't, like when I asked him afterwards, he was like, I immediately blacked out. I like saw the light. He was drooling. He couldn't help me. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, Sean, like, come on. Like, get on the chair. Like, I'm trying to lift his body up because it's hanging there. He said that he couldn't hear me. He couldn't feel anything. And so I'm like lifting his body up, which is basically just like a dead body.
Yeah.
Trying to get him back on this chair. But this extension cord, unlike a rope, has like no give at all. It's just taut, like completely like, you know. So once I got him up there, it was like I had to keep him propped up there while I was like trying to like loosen this fucking, you know, hangman's noose that this kid had tied. And like,
you guys didn't have a knife with you?
Huh?
No knife?
No, we're idiots.
Yeah.
I mean, we were stupid.
Yeah. Why were you going to plan? I think he just tried to kill himself, and what are you doing? Like,
right? I mean, could you imagine if he died? My entire life would have been fucked. And like, so.
How old were you?
This was after I was sent away.
Okay, but it's how old were you?
Before meth.
Before meth.
So like, somewhere between 16 and
maybe
17.
Maybe you wouldn't have done meth.
Before meth and after meth is Catherine's life story.
So this was somewhere between 16 and 17.
I saw a man die, come back to life. I can handle anything.
Seriously,
this
though.
Was cowboy
That's
Catherine.
year one BM.
And, I mean, he was red. The veins were popping. So when he was like choking for air, and I was like, thank God, and whatever. And so like the burn on his neck from... Yeah. And what was fucked up, he had to go to like his grandma's for his birthday dinner later that night.
He didn't go to the hospital after this?
No, we couldn't tell anyone what we'd done. We were so stupid. So I took the pictures. I saw them the other day of just like his neck was totally burned. And I was like, you're going to have to tell him they're hickeys. You're going to have to figure something out. You have to tell him something because you can't tell him what we really did. And he was like, obviously. So we like went to his grandma's house. I can't even remember what he told him. But I just told my mom about it. It was funny. I was visiting my mom. She was in her bedroom and I was in the living room. So I called her on the phone. I was like, Mom, did I ever tell you about the time like Sean Moore and I hung him off of your beams, like your rafter beams? And she was like, what? And she was like, in this house? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, why the fuck would you? And my mom doesn't say fuck a lot, but she does sometimes. She's like, why the fuck would you do that? No, I didn't know about that. You are very lucky. Very lucky. And so she just found out about that.
Like you would have had to move. You would have cleaned up a lot of poop.
Well, I mean, I think I would have been. What isn't that like assisted manslaughter or something? It's manslaughter.
It might have been manslaughter, but the same.
At 16.
You just came back from camp.
It doesn't look good for you. You're a white girl, so you probably would have gotten okay away with it. But your priors, who knows?
Yeah, no, we're very lucky, and now Sean, I think, is in a very healthy relationship.
But you had the camera. Let's break this down. What do you think, Misha? I'm gonna go for the. She'll get off. You go for that. She'll go to jail. So I think if she was a white girl, with a white guy,
yeah,
and you obviously weren't strong enough to.
We were both troubled.
You were both troubled. So maybe, but you had a camera. You're gonna take pictures, and the idea was that it wasn't really gonna happen. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, which like in retrospect, I'm like, how?
And he tied the noose, and he told you what was going to happen.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all hearsay at this point, right? I could have just been.
That's why we're going to do the both. He's going to be the one to say why you're going to jail. I'm defending you. So he's the one who made the noose. He's the one who had the plan. So you were just like, he's like, let's take my picture. It's going to be fine. And, oh, yeah, okay. I'm just a scared white girl. I just got back from camp. I don't want to go back. I just want a friend in this world. I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
I mean, I'd also like been caught in a few lies.
Well, that's what he's going to bring up now. So, Misha,
Well, he doesn't know about all
Your
that.
Honor,
I'm sure he knows that you lied.
we the people want to put Catherine away for a very long time.
Fuck you, Misha.
She has just recently come back from a reform camp, and obviously the reason why she was sent there is because she's troubled, and she's not been able to make any adjustments. She's maladjusted, and she is not safe to be around other people. The whole point of the camp was to make her a better person, and it's failed, obviously. We can't commit that many more resources to keeping her on the straight and narrow path. We need her to understand what punishment is. She needs justice.
You're just using a lot of big words. This is not your,
Your Honor,
closing argument.
I think
Jesus Christ.
this camp has failed her. If it had given her what she had needed from it, she would have had the upper body strength to hoist his body
What is going
and
on
hold
here?
him. You're on trial, Catherine, for this.
Who's the judge?
For this murder? We'll get to that. So,
We'll get to who the judge is. You guys keep it for Your Honor.
Order at the
Oh,
court!
in my court! I don't have this kind of horse hockey in my court right
That's a
now.
TV remote.
Well, no one saw it. So
I put it in there. So am I the judge, jury, and executioner here?
no,
Well, you were going to be the